All right, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing somewhat of a dead updates type of video after lots of new news this week. Lead topic for this one is, are we seeing the wrap-up or the close ending here soon for Fear the Walking Dead? Alright, so we got some new news this week to go over for Walking Dead related series. So we'll go ahead and do that as part of our Dead updates. Last week, most of the concentration was about the Daryl Carol spinoff series now being just a Daryl series. Angela Kang also being out and it filming in Germany. So if you haven't seen those videos, those are in the channel. It's still a go from the sounds of things, so it's still happening. They're going to be filming it this summer for the Daryl spinoff series. I guess it is at this point. No more Daryl Carol, just Daryl. Still no news. We'll get into this a little later for the Walking Dead Rick movie starting filming. So there was a rumor that we were going to see it start filming this springtime, and not the case, right? We still haven't seen anything materialize. New rumor now that Andrew Lincoln is going to be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. So really want to see that Rick movie still, but it really looks like it's, I don't know. People saying like, Trevor, it was never happening. They just said that to keep you watching the show. I can't really come back at that at this point, but there's stuff happening. So there was the lawsuit from Frank Darabont that went through, and that was a $200 million lawsuit against AMC. So that was just a tremendous amount of money that AMC likely, I don't know how long it would take them to have to pay that out, but they lost 200 mil. So, how does that affect the movie? How does that affect different things? It's tricky to say, but I really feel like watching Fear the Walking Dead right now with season 7, second half, which we've been doing the reviews for in the channel, and I really feel like, man, the budget for Fear the Walking Dead must be just shot. I mean, they've done some cool stuff with it, with like the nuclear explosion and all that stuff. But as far as like the amount of characters we get to see per episode, as far as the way they're kind of bottling off every episode, and you're barely seeing some of your lead cast, like you just have a few episodes where you have Morgan, a few episodes with Alicia, and then you have a lot of these other episodes led by like John Dory Sr. and these other characters that just feels like, Charlie maybe, and new characters brought in, which new characters are fine. We understand that. But just getting to see a lot of these episodes that are so sectioned off with the character selection, it's just like, wow, compared to seeing like an episode where we have basically everybody in it. Quite a few people are disappointed with the second half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. Now, I thought the first half was really good. We had the nuke kind of go off. We had the tower, which is set up and has been going through. And I think that the environment has been really awesome last couple years for Fear. They did the stuff with Virginia. They had kind of the cowboy Western kind of feel to it, which I thought was really cool. And I don't know. I mean, it's a bit frustrating to watch because we are used to having a bigger cast, a bigger roster per episode for Fear the Walking Dead. Bottle episodes are tricky, even in the original Walking Dead series. When they did them, a lot of times the episodes were skippable, or they were like just not nearly as good. Episodes like Swear and Still and stuff like that. So seeing Fear do it all the time, season to season, all the way through, I do think is, starting to hurt it a bit. Now, the ratings are pretty low for Fear, less than 1 million views per episode, but you do have Premiere, you have streaming, you have so much competition out there for different series on demand, even not just Netflix now, but Disney. With Disney Plus has gotten absolutely huge in the last couple of years with Star Wars and everything. And so there's more competition than ever to see. But so we got some news for this upcoming season, particularly to deal with season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead. So the Walking Dead TV series is going to wrap up in the fall time. And then we are going to see Fear the Walking Dead season 8, which it has been renewed for. So it has not yet been canceled for season 7, second half. But renewed for season 8, but we are possibly seeing the leave of Alicia here. She has been cast, it sounds like, in a different series called Saint X, I believe it's called, and I think Fear the Walking Dead Season 8 is either already filming or they're starting soon, which means if she is the lead, if Alicia is the lead for Saint X, we're not likely going to be seeing her in Fear the Walking Dead Season 8. Now, there could be different reasons for that. It could be because maybe the character will do like a leave thing, like we've seen with, Rick, but he never came back. But other characters like Morgan's left for several years and then come back like, big time later on. So if someone leaves, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to come back later and, get a good amount of time in some episodes and stuff and become a lead character again. It could happen. It did happen with Morgan, Lenny James. So you never know. But Madison is coming back for Fear the Walking Dead. A lot of people think that what will happen is you'll have Alicia be killed off and you'll kind of have Madison sort of come back. I'd like to see at least one scene between the two if that's going to be the case, but you are getting pretty close right now, I think, in the next couple years here to a cancellation, I think, for Fear. You are seeing the viewers consistently kind of drop off. The quality of the show is continuing, but it's all bottled off every single episode, which is a bit tricky. Because it feels like you're not putting as much into it as usual, or maybe just the effects with all the explosions and nuke and tower and everything was so expensive it meant that we would have less survivors per episode. So that could be the case as well. I'm not sure, but to have Madison come back, is it such that for Kim Dickens to come back as a lead, does it mean that Alicia has to leave? Does it mean you can't have both? It's kind of like once Lenny James came into Fear the Walking Dead, we had Madison somewhat supposedly killed off, and now we're finding out that's not the case, that she did survive. We're going to see her come back, but it kind of feels like as you have one lead come in, you have to have another leave. So if Madison's coming back, does that then mean that either Alicia or Morgan is leaving? Tricky to say here, but really, from what we're seeing, Walking Dead original TV series ending off here this year, the spinoffs do sound good, but it does sound like we're getting into maybe a new era of Walking Dead, like post the original run. Like the original run ends with the original TV series ending. Fear the Walking Dead probably wrapping up in the next couple of years, whether or not Alicia does leave now for other series like Saint X and other ones, but it's sad to see because it does feel like it's kind of wrapping up and winding down. If Madison does come back and replace Alicia instead, will that hurt the show? When the original Walking Dead series killed off Carl, that was a point that a lot of people left. So if Fear the Walking Dead does something similar and kill off Alicia at the end of Season 7, is it reasonable to think that Season 8 may be the final season of Fear, or at most maybe Season 9, then you're looking at a cancellation there? I guess we'll see what happens here. It's not great news for Fear. Good number of people saying they're not really liking the episodes right now. We'll see how the climactic battle at the tower goes here, but I do think I'll probably say that I would expect to see, if Alicia's killed off the end of Season 7, Madison comes back to kind of replace her as the series lead there. I do think that would probably be just temporary. That feels like a drastic move for like one season, for Season 8 to finish off, or Season 9, and you're wrapping up the series. Now, what would they do with some of the survivors after that? Really have no idea, right? There, if Morgan survives out past the end of Fear, what could they do with him in the future? Would he be interested in doing some other Walking Dead series set like way in the future or something? Could be the case, but they may have to kind of put it to the side for a little while and then do a series in a while for that, because they got so many other projects going right now. Eventually, these movies are supposed to be happening, if you think they were ever even going to happen. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking. So is it the end of Fear coming up here soon, next couple of years? It could be the original series is wrapping. If they go that route, I can say I think that would probably be the end for it, because I do know that the two primary characters I feel like for Fear the Walking Dead are Morgan and Alicia. And if you kill off kind of either one, even if you bring Madison back, that might try to soften the blow a little bit. But for fans who are still watching at this point, if they do either one, I feel like, it tends to not increase viewers after a certain amount of seasons. You kill Carl off, you lose a bunch of people almost right after. They don't come back, something like that. So leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. That's what I got for your Dead updates for this week, guys. The biggest question is, what will happen with Fear? We're seeing the original series wrap. What's your prediction? Leave a comment below. Do you think that Fear will end with season 8? Do you think it'll get season 9 and then end? Or do you think, no, it can last a few more years after that, even if they bring Madison back and switch out leads and do whatever, and eventually maybe Lenny James might want to leave at some point with Morgan. We'll see what happens. So thumb the video up, share, favorite, and subscribe at the bottom if you're new. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you soon.